This keto chicken pot pie looks amazing, but it's really delicious on the inside too. We have got a range of vegetables, a little bit of white wine and some red wine vinegar, and our herbs is thyme, salt and pepper. So with those combinations, we have achieved a beautiful pie for you guys to try. If you've clicked on this video just to see how we made the biscuit topping and you want to use it for another pie, click on this link now and it'll take you straight through to the recipe just for the biscuit topper. With the festive season approaching, I wanted to give you the option of being able to decorate your pie just if you've never had a go at it before. I've got a really easy way of showing you how to achieve this, or if you're just making it for the family or you don't have an extra half an hour, you can just have it as a plain biscuit topper. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial and get to make this beautiful keto chicken pot pie. Let's get into the recipe now. First, add 1 cup or 96 grams of almond flour to a bowl or your food processor if you want to make the pastry with less effort. Then add 5 tablespoons or 40 grams of coconut flour, a half a teaspoon of xanthan gum, a quarter teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon of lemon zest, and mix that so the dry ingredients are combined. Then add 3.5 ounces or 100 grams of very cold butter, a quarter cup or 55 grams of cold cream cheese, and mix that together by hand, trying to break up the butter and the cream cheese until you have an even consistency. If you're using a food processor, you would pulse the dough until you have a crumbly texture. Stop before the dough forms into a ball. Next, add 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar and 1 lightly beaten egg, and mix that again. I found using a spatula was easiest at this point because the dough will now have a softer texture. And with the food processor, you would pulse the dough until it comes together. Just a side note, do not overmix this dough. Mix it just until you have an even consistency and you mostly can't spot any lumps of butter. If you're new to my channel, welcome! If you find value in the information provided in this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on the great dishes we have coming up. Also hit the notification bell so you know when we publish a new recipe. The nutritional information and ingredients are listed in the description box. When you see the dough coming together, it is now ready. Wrap it up in cling film and shape it into a disc. It will need to chill in the fridge for at least an hour or for up to 3 days if you want to make it ahead. You can also freeze it at this point for later use. Just remember to always work with this dough when it's chilled. While the dough is chilling, let's prepare our veggies and meat. You'll need a quarter cup of finely diced onion, 30 grams of cauliflower, 30 grams of broccoli, 50 grams of green beans, 30 grams of zucchini, and do take note, I tried to dice all the veggies into the same size pieces. Also, most of the carbs in this pie come from the veggies, so leave out the veggies if you want a lower carb count. For our meat, dice 110 grams of bacon or pancetta and 500 grams of skinless chicken. Head over to the stove now and over a medium heat, add 1 tablespoon of olive oil, then saute the bacon and the onions until the onions are golden. Next, add the broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini and green beans and give it a stir until it's combined. Then add 1 tablespoon of dried thyme. Give it a stir and let that cook a little. Then move the mixture to one side of the pan. Next, add the diced chicken to the empty side of the pan and season with a generous pinch of pepper and 1 to 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. I ended up using about 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder. Now add 30 grams of butter and turn the chicken over so it cooks a little on all sides. Next, add 1 tablespoon of red wine vinegar, a half a cup or 125 ml of chicken stock or broth, then 60 ml of marsala or white wine, and a half a cup of cream cheese. Give that a stir to let all of those beautiful flavors combine. And guys, please drop me a comment if you want to let me know your feedback, and share this recipe with your friends too, because you won't find it anywhere else. You will notice the sauce is a little runny, and to fix that, I first added 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum and mixed that in. And after 1 teaspoon, you will see the sauce has thickened a little. I wanted a thicker sauce just so the pie can maintain its structure, so I added another teaspoon of xanthan gum, total 2 teaspoons added gradually and stirred or whisked into the sauce. Let that simmer on medium-low for another 10 minutes, then turn off the heat and the filling is ready. After at least an hour in the fridge, the pie dough will be ready. Ideally, this amount of dough is for a crust and a topper, so we won't use all of it. Cut the dough in half, shape it round again, and flatten it between 2 pieces of parchment paper, and place the other half in the fridge. Then roll out the dough to the size of the pie. You can measure the circumference of the pie, or you can do as I am. Just place the dish over the dough and cut to measure. Then remove the excess. Now give the chicken filling another stir, and do ensure your filling is cool before you add the pastry layer. Try to make the filling as flat as possible so your pastry or dough sits flat and evenly. Grab the bottom piece of parchment paper and place the dough onto the pie dish with the filling. Then gently peel off the parchment paper from the dough. Now cut off the excess. If you don't want to decorate your pie and you just want a plain, apply an egg wash, then bake it in the oven at 390 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius for about 5 minutes, and just keep an eye on it. Okay, and now onto the fancy work. We are using the other half from the fridge. Using about a handful, roll out the dough and cut out a shape using a cookie cutter. Here I am making the top of a tree. And now to cut out a leaf. And you can see I'm being really careful, because as the dough gets warmer, it becomes more and more delicate. If you find the same, just pop it in the fridge for 10 minutes and it'll be much better to work with. Oh, and wouldn't it be nice to pop a ball or 2 into the mouth? Okay, the pie still looks a little empty, so how about some strips for the side? And to hide my imperfections, I made some ridges in the strips, then cut off the excess. Let's make the appearance of leaves into the bushy end of our trees using the pointy end of the knife. And lastly, using a fork, a little design at the edges. And finally, we need to apply an egg wash. It's just an egg with a bit of water combined together. Apply the egg wash generously, trying to cover all of the pastry. Then bake in the oven for about 6 to 8 minutes, depending on how brown you want the topping to be. My goodness, the pastry has a slight lemon flavor, and combined with the bacon, vinegar and wine flavors of the filling, I would be happy to serve this pie during the festive season. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this tutorial and get to make this beautiful keto chicken pot pie. Stay safe and be well.